So the choir is singing on page 546. 546. They are singing these words. Enosh kechatzir yamav, betzitz hasadeh ken yatzitz. Our days are like the grass of the field, like flowers in the meadow. They vanish in a momentary gust of wind, gone, never to be seen again. V'chesed Adonai me'olam, but God's love is forever, infinite and with us. God's goodness reaches far into the future, and this is the gift of the covenant. We die. We die despite appointments and feuds, while our toddler, who has recently learned to say no, opens and shuts drawers 100 times a day, and our teen braces for the rapids of romance. We die despite the contracts and the business trips we planned, when our desk is untidy, despite a long list of things to do which we keep both simmering like a rich broth. We die despite the work that we cherish, marrying whom we love, piling up a star-spangled fortune, basking on the Riviera of fame, and achieving that human participle with no known object. So our service today in this middle of the afternoon of Yom Kippur is a service of memory. We all come here with memories of loved ones who we cherish and who we miss. And we're going to, during the course of this service, light 7 memorial candles that are in the front. And I want to call up, I want to invite us to move to page 548. And I'll read this meditation. At birth, a miracle, you light the spark in every soul. Emerging into light, we breathe it in, the neshama, your sacred life, gift of life. And every day, every breath comes to us as a miracle. The light within us, unique and precious, is with us always while we live. When breath has ceased and life has gone, the neshama returns to you, and the spark that lived inside the ones we love, unique and precious, beautiful and good, is theirs no more. Their light is ours. Their radiance now burns in us, eternal flame of memory. So we light candles to keep our love alive and to bring their light into the world. A light unique and precious, ours to treasure while we live, a ner tamid that lights our days and gives us strength to journey throughout the night. So I want to invite Diane and John Rothberg to come forward and light the first candle, and read on page 549. Mm-hmm.
The death of a loved one. Thank you. The death of a loved one is the most profound of all sorrows. The grief that comes with such a loss is intense and multifaceted, affecting our emotions, our bodies, and our lives. Grief is preoccupying and depleting. Emotionally, grief is a mixture of raw feelings such as sorrow, anguish, anger, regret, longing, fear, and deprivation. Grief may be experienced physically as exhaustion, emptiness, tension, sleeplessness.
Grief invades our daily lives in many sudden gasps, sudden gaps and changes, like that empty place at the dinner table, or the sudden loss of affection and companionship, as well as in many new apprehensions, adjustments, or loss and uncertainties. The loss of a loved one throws every aspect of our lives out of balance. The closer we were to the person who died, the more havoc the loss creates. Love does not die quickly. Hence, to grieve is also, quote, to celebrate the depth of the union. Tears are then the jewels of remembrance, sad but glistening with the beauty of the past. So grief in its bitterness marks the end, but it also is praise to the one who is gone.
On 553, a poem by Linda Paston, The Death of a Parent. Move to the front of the line, a voice says, and suddenly there is nobody left standing between you and the world to take the first blows on their shoulders. This is the place in books where part one ends and part two begins, and there is no part three. The slate is wiped, not clean, but like a canvas painted over in white, so that a whole new landscape must be started. Bits of the old still showing underneath. Those colors sadness lends to a certain hour of evening. Now the line of light at the horizon is the hinge between earth and heaven, only visible a few moments as the sun drops its rusted padlock into space. I want to invite Marcia Logan and Laura Baum to light our second candle on page 555.
Inner strength and survival. Adonai, how hard to fathom that we are worthy of your care. How astonishing your awareness of us. For we are like the morning mist, the days a passing shadow. At dawn we flourish anew, by dusk we wither and fade. Sending us back to earth's dust, you tell us, return, you who belong to humanity.
If only we were wise and understood what lies ahead, for when we die we carry nothing away, leave our possessions behind. So mark the wholehearted, take note of the upright, for there is purpose in a life of integrity. Adonai, you replenish the lives of all who revere you, and those who trust in you will never despair.
On page 556, will you join me as we sing Shir LaMa'alot, Psalm 121. Shir LaMa'alot, Esaenai el Harim, Me'ayin yavo Ezri, Ezri me'im Adonai, Ose shamayim va'aretz, al yiten lamot raglecha, al yanum shomrecha. Hine lo yanum velo ishan, shomer Yisrael. Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha, al yad yeminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka, beyareach balayla. Adonai shomrecha, mikol ra. Yishmor et nafshecha Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam. Me'ata ve'ad olam. On page 557, Edna St. Vincent Millay. The courage that my mother had. The courage that my mother had went with her and is with her still. Rock from New England quarried, now granite on a granite hill. The golden brooch my mother wore, she left behind for me to wear. I have no thing I treasure more, yet it is something I could spare. Oh, if instead she'd left me the thing she took into the gravel, that courage like a rock, which she has no more need of, and I have. So over the next few pages, there are some silent meditations, some poems, some readings. We just take a few moments now to read over them silently, and I'll just keep humming that melody that we just sang. Velo yanu, velo isham, shomer Israel, al shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha, al yad yeminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka, וירח בלילה, אדוני שומרך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך, אדוני ישמור צאתך ובואך, מעתה ועד עולם. Me'ata me'at olam. I invite us to move to page 561, and I want to invite up Judy and Jeff Morton to light our third candle.
voice trembles with fear. When I call out, it cracks with anger. How can I greet the dawn with song when darkness eclipses the rising sun? To whom shall I turn when the clouds of the present eclipse the rays of tomorrow? Turn me around to yesterday, that I may be consoled by its memories. Were not the seas split asunder? Did we not once walk together through the waters to the dry side?
Did we not bless the bread that came forth from the heavens? Did your voice not reach our ears and direct my wanderings? The water, the lightning, the thunder remind me of yesterday's triumphs. Let the past offer proof of tomorrow. Let it be my comforter and guarantor. I have been here before, known the fear, and found the companionship. I enter the sanctuary again. We will await the echo of the silence.
On page 562, we sing together at the top of the page, Haneshama lach, the soul is yours, v'haguf po'alach, and the body is your work. Chusa, chusa, alam alach. Haneshama lach, v'haguf po'alach, 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 chusa, chusa, alam alach. On page 563, Grace Paley. I needed to talk to my sister. I needed to talk to my sister, talk to her on the telephone. I mean, just as I used to every morning, in the evening too, whenever the grandchildren said a sentence that clasped both our hearts. I called. Her phone rang 4 times. You can imagine, my breath stopped. Then there was a terrible telephonic noise. A voice said, "This number is no longer in use." How wonderful, I thought. I can call again. They have not yet assigned her number to another person, despite 2 years of absence due to death. So we take a few more moments to read the next few pages, 564 to 569. On page 567, I want to invite up Allison Booth and David Isakowitz to light the fourth candle.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember.
So on the following few pages, you'll see that there are a whole set of Yizkor prayers for a person, for a man, for a boy, for a girl, for an infant, for a parent. So this is your time to bring those people into your hearts. There's one for one who died by violence. There's a prayer on page 575 in memory of a parent who was hurtful, and some psalms. So this is your time to silently pray these Yizkor prayers. I invite you to turn to page 579, and I want to invite Jocelyn and Dan Lefkowitz to read this version of Psalm 90. Psalm 90.
Adonai, through all generations we have found our home in you. Before the mountains rose up, before the birth pangs of the earth, you alone have been with us, steadfast and constant for all time. In the end, you return us to dust, saying, "Come home now. Daughters and sons of Adam and Eve, you are mortal. In your sight, 1,000 years pass in an instant, like a fleeting watch in the night. But how brief the span of our lives. Our years flow by in a dream. We sleep away our days. In the morning we blossom in beauty. In the evening we wither away. Burnt like grass in the blasting heat of summer. We perish like chaff on the wind."
Threescore years and 10, or fourscore years for those who are blessed with strength. So many days consumed by toil and troubles. Then our time is cut short, and too soon we go into the dark. So teach us to number our days, that we may bring home a heart of wisdom. Give us a sense of your presence. Nourish us with your compassion. Knowing your love at the dawn of our life, let us live our days in contentment. May our moments of joy surpass the times of struggle. May we taste the sweetness of each precious day. May the work of our hands bring fulfillment.
On page 582, I'm reading Bright Mariner by Catherine Garrison Chapin. Had I known that you were going, I could have given you at least good speed. But you slipped away so suddenly that I was left standing on the shore, watching into space, not knowing that you would never come back, till I felt the waters of the incoming tide cold about my heart. I do not ask for you again. I know the sea you sail does not touch these shores. I only look for a distant all hail, like the white crest of a wave against the horizon, or a signal light flashing once, far against the sky. Sail on, my bright sturdy mariner, let out a full sheet to your new winds. Taste the clear spray of your new waters. You were made for flight and swiftness and eternal freedom. Nothing shall weigh you down or call you back to the warm earth, or the shape we knew, or the place that held you so very dear. I have cut the anchor chain that bound you to me, and the great strength of my love, and the heavy ache of my loneliness, which might bear upon you and hold you back. I have fashioned into a shining silken fabric to the highest and strongest of your new sails. So on page 583, the last verse of Adon Olam, we all sing this every single week. I don't know if we think about these words at all, but the last words are these: Biyado afkid ruchi, in God's hands I place my spirit. Be'et ishan ve'ayira, when I sleep and when I rise. Ve'im ruchi geviati, my body too will rest in you. Adonai li lo ira, but I have no fear. God is with me. So we're going to sing this to the tune of The Water is Wide. Beyado afkid ruchi beit ishan ve'ayira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li Beruchi Beit Ishan Ve'ha'ira Ve'imruchi Kiviati Adonai li Ve'lo ira. On page 585, I want to invite Kathleen Ford and Richard Bonney to light our sixth candle.
Gratitude for the next generation. If some messenger were to come to us with the offer that death should be overthrown, but with the one inseparable condition that birth should also cease, if the existing generation were given the chance to live forever, but on the clear understanding that never again would there be a child, or a youth, or first love. Never again new persons with new hopes, new ideas, new achievements, ourselves for always and never any others. Could the answer be in doubt?
When we fear death's decree, let these bring us solace, the memory of loved ones who have gone before us, a vision of generations to come, through whom we reach far into the future beyond our own lives.
On page 590, beautiful passage from the Talmud in the name of Rabbi Judah. I'm going to ask us all to read that together. There are 10 strong things. Iron is strong, but fire melts it. Fire is strong, but water quenches it. Water is strong, but the clouds evaporate it. Clouds are strong, but wind drives them away. Wind is strong, but the human body bears it. Human beings are strong, but fear casts them down. Fear is strong, but wine allays it. Wine is strong, but sleep overcomes it. Sleep is strong, but death is stronger, and loving kindness survives death. On page 594, I want to invite George Beller and Catherine Brooks to come up and light the seventh candle and to read for us a Psalm of David, 23rd Psalm.
is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. Thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
We turn back to page 593 and we'll sing the 23rd Psalm together in the Hebrew. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai roi lo echsar, b'nei oteshe yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yinachaleni. Nafshi yishoveh, Nafshi yishoveh, Yancheni b'maglei tzedek leman shemo. Gam ki elech b'gei tzalmaveh, Lo irara ki ata imadi, shiftecha umishantecha, shiftecha umishantecha, hema yenachamuni. Taroch, Taroch, Taroch lefanai shulchan, Taroch lefanai shulchan, neged zorerai, Dishanta, Dishanta, Dishanta beshemen roshi, Dishanta beshemen roshi, kol sirevaya. Ach tov v'chesed, yirdefuni kol yemei chayai. Veshavti bevet Adonai, Veshavti bevet Adonai, leorech yamim. So I invite you now, if you have, to look over the Yizkor books. Those are members of our congregation who are being remembered by their family members or friends. And I'm going to read the names of those people here at CBI in our congregation who passed away between last Rosh Hashanah and this. And if I leave out any names, please mention them. Beverly Tesler Gary, Seymour Mayer, Stephen Weitzman, father of Shane, Elaine Mallon, mother of Mark, Ami Cohen, brother of Elon, Carol Alexander, partner of Michael, Stephen Suttle, father of Tova Close, John Rosenberg, husband of Cecilia, Adeline Glasser Bloom, mother of George, Mark Dreyer, Ivan Logan, husband of Marcia, Gary Spitzer, father of Rachel Edwards, Barbara Cheknoff, sister of Michael. Robert Epstein, remembered by CBI. Ethel Zager, mother of Sue Goldman. Lenny Kohler, father of Dan. And Bess Kane, remembered by Congregation CBI. So in a moment, we'll rise for the El Malei Rachamim, prayer of memory. It can be found on page 598. We can read the words together in the English, and then I'll invite us to rise as we chant the prayer together. Merciful God, God Most High, let there be a perfect rest for the souls of our beloved ones who have gone into eternity. May they find shelter in your presence among the holy and pure, whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold them close to you forever. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May they find a home in you. May they rest in peace. And together we say, Amen. Please rise. El Malei Rachamim, שוכן במרמים, המצא מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה, עם קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, לנשמות יקירנו שהלכו לעולמם, בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור החיים את נשמתם, אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבם, ונאמר Amen. So in addition to our loved ones, before we say the Kaddish, I would like to read on page 599 for those who died for the sake of your name. May God remember the souls of those slain for their devotion to you, all who died al Kiddush Hashem, our brothers and sisters in every generation, killed because they were Jews, the ones who suffered fire and the ones who suffered water to sanctify your name. May God remember those in our own time killed in acts of hate, acts of terror against the Jewish people, against the Jewish state, and against human beings of every nation. Though holiness was diminished by their deaths, may their memories be turned to good, and their legacies a sanctification of your name. Let us honor their memory by word, by deed, by acts of hope and kindness. Let us honor them through the study of history and by working against hatred and bias. As we cling to their memory, so may God embrace their souls and give them everlasting peace. And together we say, Amen. So we now take just a moment for silent prayer again before the Kaddish. The Mourner's Cottage is on page 608. Before that, I just want to remind us that all those who mourn the loss of loved ones and at this hour remember the sweet companionship and cherished hopes that have passed away with them, give ear to the word of comfort spoken in the name of God, that only the body has died and returned to the dust, but the spirit lives in the shelter of God's love and mercy. Our loved ones live on as well in the remembrance of those to whom they were precious. Their deeds of loving kindness, the true and beautiful words they spoke, are treasured as inspiration for deeds by which the living honor the dead. Page 606. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru, Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam leolmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha b'richu, le'ela ule'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. You may be seated. Let's sing together at the bottom of page 607 while the choir is getting in place for our final prayer, song, poem. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Page 607. 607, near the bottom. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, shall reap in joy. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, shall reap in joy. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, shall reap in joy. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. The words to Yesh Kochavim are back on page 567. They're by the poet Chana Senesh. Go in peace. Good yontif. Thank you so much to the choir. So, those of you who wish to stay, we'll do a little Torah study in the next room. And then at 5:45, if you wish to stay in this room and just kind of be in this beautiful room with this beautiful light, you're welcome. We'll be doing a little text study in the next room. And then Mincha will begin at 5:45.